Hi, it's Linda from Linda's Paperworks. Last time I worked on this little piece that fits in the front pocket of this Time and Journey journal. This is a clock face, that's why I call it Time. This is just a little folder with some pages added to the middle of it and some tickets in the back. Just you could use that to journal on the back of them if you wanted to. But anyway, that's what I did last time, and it goes in this pocket. Today I wanted to work on a writing board to go in the back of the journal, just to stay in the pocket back here, so that it could be used behind a page that you want to write on. So if there's something bumpy behind it, let's see, like this, you know, this page even. If you wanted to write on this page, and you have these pages with things back here, you put your writing board there, and then you have a smooth, solid surface to write on. So that's what we're going to do. This is another box, same Suddenly Pasta Salad. What I've done already is I used the sanding block, and I just used the finer side of the two sides and sanded the surface off of the box to get rid of the shiny surface. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this side with paper. This is going to be the outside. I'm going to use, this is a piece of coffee dyed paper. I'm going to put on one side of it so that it's just pretty plain. I might do a little stamping on the edge or something of that. And then this paper that has lots of different postcards just scattered all over it. And I'm going to use, pick a place and use one of these. It's got some green up here. I think I may use this corner. What you do is you glue the paper to the cardboard. Before, when I've made these, I've glued the cardboard together and then glued the paper to it. And I realized today that if I glue the paper on first, then I can go ahead and decoupage both sides of it and then glue it together when that's finished. So that's how I'm going to approach it today. I think what I'm going to do is just take this and put glue on it and put it up in this corner where I want that to be. So, okay, I have my glue sheet here, my new glue sheet. I'm just going to put some glue stick on here. Mine is Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength glue stick, and it seems to work pretty well for me. Other glue sticks that I've heard people use are Scotch Create glue stick. Yoo-hoo or Oohoo is another brand that people use. Can't think of any others right now, but depending on how much you trust it, if you just, I mean, you can use a cheap one if you're going to put just a little bit of more sticky glue on. It's just personal preference, what you like. I'm just going to put the Fabri-Tac around the edge and a little bit in the middle. Why not? And I'm going to use my silicone spreader to just spread this out a little bit on the edges so it doesn't seep out. Okay. Put that over there. And decide it's this corner that I want to use up here. So I'm just going to line this up with the edge of the paper like that and smooth it down. Let's see this side. This is an expired credit card, but it works. It's a little stiffer than some other cards, like a gift card or something, so I like to use it. Now, I'm going to glue the other one, and then I'll cut them both off. Whoops, this way. I don't guess it matters. I mean, it's going to be covered up, so it probably doesn't matter if you glue them both the same way, or one way and one the other, or what. You just want to be sure when you glue the two pieces together that you get a good bond there. I'm going to probably let it sit for a while before I put the Mod Podge on the outside of them. That's just to cover it and make it have a more resistant surface. This is a little crinkly, so I hope I can get it on straight. Okay. Oh, and I didn't put the Fabri-Tac on there. Just want it on there to make sure the edge stays stuck. The edges are what want to pop up on you. in the middle too, just for good measure. Now, get it up here where I can see it a little better. My lighting is not the greatest right now. The sun is kind of hiding. I don't know if it's supposed to rain or not. We finally got rain after a long, hot July and August. We finally got some rain. Late in August and these days in September. So. I think those ridges are from the glue that I put on there, so I'm trying to spread it where it doesn't just stay in one spot there. All right, there we go. I'm gonna take my scissors, I think, and just come along the edge here and cut this off. Maybe I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I'm gonna use the knife. I think it might be a little more straight if I do that. Here, I like to put my knife right at the edge of the page of the cardboard there, and then slide the ruler over to it, like that. I've gotten into the cardboard a little bit right there. Seems like it did. Okay. Do this one also. You can tell when you're cutting through the paper and when you're getting into the cardboard because it's harder to drag the knife across. Okay. Let's see, that started to look ragged there, so I guess I got into the cardboard. Yes, I did. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take this sanding block and just go down the edge of that. And that just will take it off. And trim that just a teeny tiny bit right there. I'm thinking about putting a stamp or something on this side. I have that compass stamp. Goes this way. That could go on there. Or French postmarks. That might be fun. I have this key. And I have these travel stamps. This was a set. I forget what it was called, but I used that stamp on the inside of the little folder that goes in the front of the cover. But that's a tag and a camera, and it says postcard. It says Mountain Hotel, a stamp and a postmark, key and a number, and that's another smaller compass and a small tag. So I may choose one of those to go on here or something else. Don't know. I may come back and finish this video separately. Give these pieces some time to dry. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just put this under my mat and let it dry, and I'll think about what I'm going to put on this side. The glue has dried on these two cardboard pieces where I glued the paper to it and the scrapbooking paper. And now what I want to do is I want to stamp a design on this, and I think I've decided on the postcard. I tried it out on this paper. I'm going to keep that out so I can see it and see what I need to do to that. But the first thing I'm going to do is put some Mod Podge on this piece and get it started drying. I'm going to need at least 2 coats, and I may put 3 on them to give them a good hard surface. I decided to do it this way with the two cardboard pieces not glued together yet so that I can work on each piece individually. And this Mod Podge can be drying while I'm working on the stamping, and then I'll be able to work back and forth on them. It's causing it to bow up really bad, but that'll be okay. It'll dry out and flatten back down. I buy these little bottles of Mod Podge at the Dollar Tree. I guess now they're $1.25, but I think it's probably, unless you use a lot of it. Now, if you're going to use a lot of Mod Podge, then I would say, yeah, go ahead and buy the big bottles. But for me, these little bottles are better because I don't use it that often, for one thing. And then I can use it up before it gets too gloppy. This is kind of popping that up off of the cardboard too, the glue, where the glue is. So hopefully that'll be okay. I see a little bit at that end that needs to be covered a bit better. Okay, I'm going to set that aside while it dries a little bit. And my brush, I hope I don't, let's see. Maybe I'll just spray it with some water so that it doesn't dry out too badly. I decided to just get a Kleenex and spray it down and leave it in that, and hopefully it won't get stuck up while I'm doing the other thing. Normally I would just go to the sink and wash it out, but I want to go ahead and get the video going. But hopefully it will look like this when I'm finished. Where I like this little mat, it gives it a little bit of give underneath, and I think it makes for a better impression when I use it. I'm using this ink dye pad, all-purpose stamping ink, and it's by Ranger also. I've had it for, I don't know how long, long time, and I've started spraying with a little bit of water to refresh it because it's getting a little bit dry, and I hope I can extend its life a little bit. And then this one is Studio G, and it's acid-free pigment ink also. It came from Joann Fabric, and I'm adding just a little bit of that to it. It seems like it makes it look, it doesn't necessarily go gold, but it gives it a little bit of extra something. I don't really know what. But anyway, and I'm setting this on here where the stamp is a little more straight than the way it is positioned on this stamp. Okay, first step, that one. Next is, let's see, what did I do next? I did this one, and I'm also doing it with the brown. Pick this up so it doesn't shake so much. I just like to get it where I can see that there's shine of the ink on the stamp, and I feel like that will give me a good impression. If you have a new stamp pad and it's really juicy, then you probably don't need to be trying too hard to get the ink on it because it will be too much. A lot of times with a new stamp pad, I'll stamp it off before I stamp it for real on the card or whatever I'm working on. Okay, good. That looks pretty good. And now I'm going to go to black ink just to have a little variety. But I'm not black ink. I'm going to use the this archival ink watering can. It's a gray ink, and I have some Studio G black ink if I want to add a little bit of that to it. Okay, I did that one, and this is the stamp I'm going to use. It's a French stamp, but what I'm going to do, since I stamped that postcard on there, I'm going to cover up, I don't know how you say this, carte postale. I'm going to cover that up with washi tape. That's what I did before. What I do is I put the stamp ink on it, and then I put the washi tape over that. And then I try to get it off my fingers. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see what to do here. This seems to be inking pretty good. Okay, I couldn't decide what I wanted to put on this, on the back of my writing board, and I finally settled on this stamped postcard. So we'll see how it looks when we're finished. Okay. got a smudge on there. Yep, I got a smudge right there. Oh well, it's been through the post because it's got postmarks on it. That's what happened to it. I don't think this is, there we go. Didn't seem like it was sticking quite well enough, but I think it'll be okay. Okay. I'm going to put a little more black on there on the postmark part. And this one. And that little thing right there. That probably won't make a bit of difference, but I feel like I did something now. And I want that to be right about there, I think. So press that down really well. Oh, and it did what it always does. It didn't stamp in the middle. But I'm stuck with it because I can't restamp it. I can't match that up, so it's just going to have to be that way. I could put some flowers or something there. It looks like I let a little bit of that come out too. Oh well. Nothing's perfect, and certainly nothing I do is perfect. So anyway, I could put a sticker or something there, but I'm afraid that that would not work. And I don't think I'm brave enough to use my alcohol ink pens and just draw something freehand. You know, it stamped pretty well on this one. Look at that. Isn't that the way it always goes? Your trial turns out perfect, and the real deal, not so much. Okay, let's see how this is doing. It's gluing to the paper. Okay. Seems to be drying. I'm going to press that down with my finger to get that glue maybe sticking back again there so we don't have bubbles in that. Well, it still has bubbles, but maybe it'll be all right. It's not going to be perfect because, as I said, nothing ever is. It's handmade. Well, I'm going to let it dry just a little bit longer. And maybe I will go ahead and do this and put a flower right there. If I had one to look at, maybe that would help me do it. Okay, I found this fabric that has that flower in there. Maybe I'll give this a trial run on something else. I probably shouldn't do this on camera. These are my new professional artist markers, alcohol-based markers. Got them recently. I haven't played with them too much, but I do like them, even if they are rattly. What do we think? Should I do it or should I not? I don't know. Maybe I need to turn off the camera and do more ponderation. I'm back. I've done some things off camera. This was where I left off. I was making these flowers, and I decided that I wasn't really happy with the result I was getting doing it freehand. I tried yellow roses, which I kind of like that a little more than the pink in a way, but they still look pretty amateurish. And then I remembered I have some roses stamps, so I pulled out these two sets. This one has the larger one, and this has the smaller one. And I decided the smaller one was too small for the postcard. And I was working on this first. And so I stamped this one on here. And I think I have it upside down or something. It looked funny to me. But anyway, I've tried some of the alcohol markers on it. And fairly well pleased with the result. This is a little rough right there. So I decided to go ahead and proceed with I practiced some more on this page. And I went ahead and stamped with the brown ink on my postcard. And then I colored the roses in. I think I used the light yellow first, and then I came back with, I think it was coral. And it looks a little splotchy to me still, but I think I'm okay with it. I think overall it's fine. And after I did all this, I thought, well, maybe what would work best would be to stamp lightly with some color, some light color, and just fill in the spaces where the roses are, and then go back over it with a black or a gray or whatever. And that's what I did on that one, and I kind of like the way that looks. So I think I'll have fun playing with them, with the markers and with using stamps with them. But you have to use permanent ink, especially with this, because I'm going to put the wet glue over the top of it. And if I used Distress Oxide ink, it will run, and I don't know, I mean, it would just do its own thing, which I don't know what it would be, and I don't want to trust it. Also, put a couple of more coats of Mod Podge on this front piece, the other piece, and it's still drying a little bit, but it's getting there. I think I've got enough coats of Mod Podge on it, and I'm planning to use some wax to go over the top of it to seal it. I think that's what I did on my last ones that I did. It's been a while since I've done those, and I don't remember. But I thought what I'd do now is go ahead and put some Mod Podge on top of this and see what happens. Hope for the best. And we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of amused at myself, I guess is what I'm amused at, that I get these bright ideas and I start doing something, and then, like, the stamp doesn't stamp right. And it forces me into doing something else. And generally, I'm not willing to just start over with a clean piece of paper. If there's any way to salvage it, I will try. And so I thought about putting the roses on there and went from there. So I've got this. It's kind of like God's way of pushing me into getting out of my comfort zone, I guess, trying something new. So I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe I should be grateful for mistakes, because I get to try something new when it happens. Anyway, here we go. Putting the Mod Podge on. See what happens when we do this. On the other piece, the paper sort of bubbled up in places where it wasn't glued sufficiently, and it looks like it's happening on this one too. I think it'll be okay and flatten out okay. Probably it would have been best if I had used wet glue to glue the paper to the cardboard to begin with, but I didn't do that. Like I said, it had been so long since I had done this that I didn't really remember what I've done before. So anyway, and I'm using more Mod Podge than I expected to use. So I may have to be stopping by the Dollar Tree and replenishing my stash. Okay. And this may be the wrong way to do this, to put so much on to begin with. That may be what's making it bubble up. But anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. So at least the ink is not bleeding with the Mod Podge. So it seems like it dries pretty quickly when I finish putting it on there. I'm still batting my brush along with a little spray of water to keep it from getting dried out, wrapped up in the Kleenex. This is going to be like going back and forth with the Mod Podge on this, so it may take a while to finish this off. So I think I will stop again and come back when I finish that process. While I'm waiting on the Mod Podge to dry on these boards, I thought I'd go ahead and make a place to put it in the back cover of this little journal. And I decided that the easiest and best thing to do would be to make a belly band to go back here. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use this fabric. I cut a piece of paper to go behind it to glue the fabric to, and put little, I guess it's flaps, I guess you'd call it, to glue down and give it just a little bit of room to slide the card in to the to the belly band once it's glued down. I'm going to cut this fabric. It's a little bit crooked. Let's see if I can straighten it up a little bit. This is 1.5 inches wide. I think I'm going to cut it just slightly more than that. Maybe go up like that. And cut it with my rotary cutter so I'll have it straight. There's my little skinny ruler here. So I'm going to go to 1.5 inches there, and my dots are missing. Can't see where I'm going. Okay, I'm going to go like that. And I think that just moved, but maybe it'll be all right. I'm going to fray the edges a little bit, so it should be okay. Okay, that one is frayed just a little bit already, so I'm just going to take a couple of rows of the threads off on the bottom, or whatever side this is. And so that's going to be on there. It's going to go over the edge a little ways on it, so that'll be fine. I'm going to put glue stick on this piece, and then I'm going to put Fabri-Tac on the fabric so it'll be securely on there. And then I'll glue it to the back of the book with Fabri-Tac. I'm looking at both sides of this fabric to see which one I think has the most interesting texture on it. Maybe that'll do. Spread it just a little bit. Okay. All right. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to have little doggies, little bunnies and piggies and sheeps and part of a horse on here. I'm going to put that on the inside so it wouldn't be seen, but it'll be behind it so it won't be seen. This is some paper that was in a pack at Hobby Lobby. And they cleared it out. They were making up packs and selling them for a certain price. I forgot how much this one was. It was 8.5 by 11 size. And I liked the paper I saw on the outside, and I kind of peeked around on the inside to see if I thought I could see things I would like, and decided I could work with it. But this paper is not really something I'm going to be using, except I coffee dyed it and used the other side. I think this is it. Yeah, that's a piece of it. It's nice paper, and it takes the coffee nice. So if you just want something to make labels with or anything like that, nobody's ever going to see your horsey and bunny behind. Okay. Glue going there, but I guess I want glue going there anyway. So let's see where I need to put that. I'm just barely going to have enough room to glue these down. So I hope it will be okay. I hope. So we'll see. I'm just going to put the glue on the edge here, on that, and on here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Just run it across there and smooth it out a little bit so I don't end up with too much glue where I don't want it. Okay. I think that I'm going to put this that's going to be in the bend right there, but I guess that'll be okay. And put it there. And hopefully I will have enough space in there to insert my little card here. I think that'll work. This is going to be twice as thick as it is right now, so maybe it'll be okay. Spread it back a little bit. Okay. I guess I could put a word or something on there. I may do that later. I have to think about that too. And I am going to take a bit of this. I'm going to make this fringe a little wider there. I may need to trim that too. We'll have a place to put our writing board when I finish making it. This is the side that's finished. And what I did, let me show you the ones I've done in the past. This was the first one I ever made, and it was 2 layers of cereal box, and I glued them together, and I glued paper on each side and put Mod Podge on it, and then I waxed it, is what I did on both sides. I used, this is some beeswax that I had, and I also used just wax paper and waxed it, and that's what I've done to this side of this already. And then this one I did, this was the second one I made, and I had a back to a weekly calendar planner thing. And so I used that. It was a nice thick piece of cardboard, so that's what I used on that. And they're both, you know, they're sturdy and work well for what they are. And this is the other piece that I have glued down now, and I think it's pretty flat. It's got some places that are raised. I've been rubbing it down again. I think I need to master my gluing technique better. Maybe use wet glue to begin with and put it under books or something so that it doesn't bubble up like that. But anyway, this has got 3 coats of Mod Podge on it now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and add some wax paper to it. And I'm probably going to just do this off, you know, turn the camera off. This is dry now. I have waxed it with wax paper, like I was showing, just rubbed it over there. I didn't go over it with the beeswax this time on this one because it seems pretty smooth and slick. And so I think I'm just going to go with that. Now, what I'm going to do is glue these 2 pieces together. And I think I'm going to use this Elmer's glue, which is quick dry, and it is acid free, and I hope it's permanent. I think it says it is on here somewhere. It may have been on the outside package. Well, I'm just going to assume that it is because that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get a brush to spread it with or something. I guess I could spread it with this, couldn't I? My glue paper over here again. I'm just going to pour some of this out because this lid that's supposed to work is not working anymore. Oh, pieces of glue on there. Okay. Let's plop it out here. Come on. Did it just glob together and oh my word, what am I going to put that back in there with? That was obviously more than I needed. Okay, I'm making a large mess, but it will work out in the end, I suppose. Okay, I'm just going to start spreading this on here and go with it. I am making a mess. What I was going to say is I'm going to put a nice thick coat on here and then put them together and clamp it. And I hope it doesn't say put it on 2 sides. I guess I should read before I start. But it does say it's quick drying. I like to get it out past the edge real well because that's the part that you want to make sure is going to stick. Alright, I hope that is on the edges good. If I don't hurry up, it's going to be dry before I'm ready. Alright, I'm going with it so I can place them together. But first, I'm going to read real quick what this says. Application. Use on clean, dry surface. Temperature over 60. Squeeze out adequate amount. I think I did that. Place on surfaces that are to be glued together. Apply pressure to the two surfaces and let dry. That sounds like I need to put it on the other one too, doesn't it? Okay, I think I need to turn the page on this glue book I've got going on here. Okay. All right. That's enough. That is enough. Here. Oh, come on. Okay. I feel like I'm racing the clock because I feel like it's drying, especially that piece over there. Maybe this will be wet enough to hold it. Okay. Okay. I hope it's good enough. Edges are wet. Okay. Hopefully this won't just grab too quickly for me. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to wipe this all down. There's glue everywhere. Okay. Okay, and I might as well wipe this gluey bottleneck while I'm wiping things. Okay. All right, that was a glue adventure, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Fun with glue. Okay. Now I need to rub this down a little bit, I think, and maybe re-wax it. I'm just gonna run this Kleenex across here and smooth out the rough places. Okay, that feels pretty good on that side. Okay, that is not exactly even there, but it seems to be there, so maybe it will be okay. I'm going to put this under, oh dear, what am I going to put it under? I don't want it to glue to anything, but I'm going to use this silicone mat, I think, and put it on that, and then under this one, and then put a heavy, I'm going to put a heavy book on it to finish letting it dry. I think that's about it. I'll take pictures of the finished product in the book and put it at the end of the video. And I really appreciate you coming along with me on this crazy adventure. I think, oh, I'll make a writing board. That'll be quick and easy. Just a couple of pieces of cardboard and some paper, a little glue, and then I get into all these things. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my mistakes and misses and had some fun. And try this for yourself. It's probably not as hard as I make it look. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.